everyone, Sal D'Alia here, brand content lead at Adorama and Sony Alpha ambassador. Today, I'm excited to be working with two incredible new Sony products, the Sony Alpha 1 II and a brand new zoom lens, the 2870 f2 G Master. When Sony reached out to present these two new products, I was about to travel outside the country to shoot a mini-series for Adorama, so it was the perfect timing. For something this exciting, I had to shoot something special. I'm currently at the Lamborghini World Finals at the iconic Jerez racetrack in Spain, and I can't wait to show you what this camera and lens combo can do. First, let's talk about the new flagship camera. What's really amazing is the versatility. I've been shooting a mix of video and photos, about 70% video and 30% photos. Normally, I would carry multiple bodies in my backpack, like the Alpha 7S III for video and the Alpha 7R5 photos. But with the Alpha 1 II, it's the perfect one-camera solution, and that's exactly what I need out here on the track. When you're shooting something as fast and intense as these Lamborghini race cars, you need speed, resolution, and quick controls. I can tell you right now that this camera delivers, but here are some specs for you. In the camera, you find the cutting-edge AI technology that Sony brought to the latest generation of cameras. This one features a 50.1 megapixel stacked CMOS sensor. They can shoot up to 8K video, and the advanced AI-powered autofocus makes subject recognition incredibly accurate and fast. And it works perfectly both in stills and video. In previous camera, you saw how you can select, human, animal, bird, but now with the auto, you can select which one the AI has to process. You can see a sample here of how quickly the autofocus tracks the car and keeps it without losing it. Other top features in this camera are the 8.5 stop image stabilization and high-speed continuous shooting up to 30 frames per second, which makes it ideal for wildlife, news, commercial photography, and of course sports, like in this case. On the camera, another feature is the C5 button, right next to the lens, which can bump up the speed of the high continuous shooting. Like you can see in some of the samples that I shot, there is no blackout, shooting up to 13 frames per second with autofocus, and these images can also be compressed raw. You can shoot up to 153. You also have pre-capture, which records moment before the shutter release, and it's settable 0.03 to 1 second. If you use flash, the flash sync up to a 400th of a second. Compared to the first generation, you have what I consider the best LCD on the market, because it's a 4-axis multi-angle. You still have the best specs and features from most of the other Sony cameras. The dual CFS Express Type A slots, pixel shift multi-shooting, you got built-in Wi-Fi, super speed USB up to 10 GB per second, and for fast data transfer, a wireline port. Have the digital multi-interface shoe, and before using a rain jacket, I also put it to the test shooting under the rain. But then once it started pouring, I had to protect my gear. And then for video, as I said, 8K up to 30 frames per second, 4K up to 120 frames per second, and in Full HD up to 240 frames per second. As you can see, I used heavily the 120 frames, but I also did some tests with the 240, especially when the rain was coming down hard and these amazing cars were not slowing down. I tested the 8K video. The amount of detail you get is pretty insane, in both wide shots and close-up. You can see how I can crop and follow a car that was shot on a wide angle in 8K. You have 422 10-beat auto framing stabilizer, and probably my favorite feature, you can finally import user LUTs. Because I've been using the same LUTs made in DaVinci for now years, but I was never able to put it on my Alpha 7S III. I want to say something more about the active mode stabilization, because this camera brings stabilization to a new level by adding electronic stabilization and making it way smoother than it was in the past. With dynamic active mode, you can enhance that by 20%, which is incredible if you're shooting in extreme handle situation. Now let's talk about the new G Master 2870mm f2. and this is a constant f2. This is the lens that I need for versatility and to get high quality footage. And it's probably going to be my new workhorse lens, because this lens will work for any shooting condition, whether I'm capturing stills or shooting video. It's fast, sharp, you can see it's a lot more compact than most zoom lenses in this range. I think many people will face the choice between this one and the great classic, the 2470 2.8. Personally, I like the extra stop of light. The jump between 24 and 28 doesn't bother me as much, so I will go with this lens. Here are some specs for you. This is the first ever G Master Constant f2 zoom lens, with 3 extreme aspherical elements and 3 extra low dispersion elements. The image quality is sharp edge to edge. The weight is around 900 grams, and it was ideal for extended shooting session, like the one that I'm having here in Spain. The 4 linear motors will give you fast, precise, and silent autofocus. And you saw how good they were in tracking the subject, even at 120 frames per second. You also have focus breathing suppression, which is perfect for professional movie productions. So it won't only be great on the mirrorless cameras, but on cinema cameras as well. I was very impressed with the close-up performance. The minimum focusing distance 14.8 inches. And you can see how you can basically do macro style shots throughout the zoom range. Takes 86mm screw-on filters. And on the lens you have all the controls on the buttons that you need. To customizable focus hold button, aperture ring, iris lock switch, focus mode switch, a zoom switch to regulate the smoothness. I was here to shoot a mini series on an amazing motorsport photographer, and you will be able to watch this series soon on Adorama TV. Big thanks to Sony for letting me test out this incredible gear, and a huge shout out to Lamborghini for giving me the opportunity to be here at the World Finals. I've been able to put this camera lens through some serious tests, and I feel I can say that this camera can do it all. Whether you're shooting high-res photos or epic 8K video, it's going to handle anything you throw at it. If you have any question, drop it in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow Adorama TV for more gear reviews, tips, and all things photography and video. See you next time.